The truth is, it was August 3rd, 2005. I was sitting at home, which was very unusual. I was rarely home, and I was rarely watching TV, but two of those things were happening. And I was traveling a lot at that time, doing what I'm doing now, but I had just done the Downing Street memo hearings. Do you guys remember that on June 16th, 2005, in the basement of the Capitol building, where I testified about the Downing Street memo? So I was doing a lot of traveling. I was doing a lot of interviews and things like that. And I was supposed to go to England that summer, but it canceled. So I was preparing to go to the Veterans for Peace Convention in Dallas on August 4th. And I was one of the main speakers there. So it's August 3rd, I'm sitting in my living room watching TV. I had already heard that 12 Marines from Ohio were killed in one incident in Iraq. And I knew that 8 Marines from the same unit had been killed before. But this time, George Bush gets on the TV, and he said, somebody asked him about that, and he said, well, their families and the families of all the fallen can rest assured that their loved ones died for a noble cause. So I was like listening for one of our toady media to ask him what noble cause, and they didn't. So I was like, what's wrong with me? I have a voice. George Bush was already on vacation. He was on vacation more than any other president. I wish he would have spent 8 years on vacation. I think we'd all be a lot better off. But so I just was typing an email, and Bill probably got this email because he was on my email list at the time. And it just said, you know what, George Bush just said, everybody's dying for a noble cause. Nobody asked him what noble cause. I'm going to the Veterans for Peace Convention tomorrow. After my part, I'm going to drive to Crawford, wherever the heck that is, and get as close as I can to the president and ask him for what noble cause. And then I went to Sacramento and came back, and my email box was filled. People were just like, thought that was a fabulous idea. And I heard from Hadi Jawad from the Crawford Peace House. I didn't even know there was a Crawford Peace House until I said I was going. They offered me their help. And then I got to the Veterans for Peace Convention, and on the 5th, I had a meeting with VFP leaders, Veterans for Peace leaders, and with some local activists, and Hadi Jawad from the Crawford Peace House, and we were having this about, you know, the logistics and everything, and I was just like, I just want to go, I just want to go, I just want to go. And Hadi asked me a question. He said, what are you going to do if he doesn't meet with you? And I said, I don't know, I guess I'll just sit down and stay there until he does. And Hadi said the understatement of the summer. He said, wow, that's an action. And it really turned out to be an action. And it was spontaneous. I thought of doing it on August 3rd. I was there August 6th. The first night we had 7 people. By the end of the summer, over 15,000 people had come through. And tens of thousands, maybe millions all over the world participated in solidarity protests. I got 30,000 pieces of snail mail in 26 days. That's like over 1,000 pieces of mail a day. And the post office is about as big as a stage in Crawford, Texas. So it was just like it was super stressful for me, because I would get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, start interviews. I'd be interviewing till midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. I'd go to bed for a couple hours, and every day was a new crisis. Every day was something new that they dug up about me. You know, like Cindy, is it true you called George Bush a terrorist? Like they were going to challenge me with that. And I was just like, yeah. You know, I called George Bush a terrorist. He has killed over 100,000 people at that time. I said, what's the difference from flying airplanes into buildings or dropping bombs from buildings onto buildings from airplanes? So But then it was also very miraculous with all the people coming every day. Some people drove down from Wisconsin and just came to hug me, and they turned around and went back. And we would be thinking, wow, we need some more ice, and an ice truck would drive up. You know, so it was just very wonderful, yet
You formed a community.
terrible.
You formed a
We
community.
formed a community there, and Camp Casey is like what I would want to model community on, because people who came, they came to help. And they came to help by doing whatever they thought was they could do. You know, they came to cook, do dishes, do security, drive, you know, whatever. And it was a wonderful community where everybody like found their niche and stayed there and happily were in their niche. First, they're never going to reestablish the forced draft, but that's not even recognizing the fact that we already have a draft. It's a poverty draft. It's a backdoor draft. Once our kids get into the military, they can't get out. They call that the backdoor draft. That very few of our kids even know that exists when they join the military. And you talk to people in the inner cities and now it's not even in the inner cities anymore. It's widespread. That what are our young people then going to do? There's no jobs, and they can't afford to go to college. So what's their alternative? They think their only alternative is joining the military. So, a problem I have with the draft is it's never going to be universal. You know, stains like Dick Cheney and George Bush will always get out of it. And it's still the working class that has to suffer, because other people will know how to get out. Even if they say it's going to be universal, it never will be universal.